go, bub. Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut!
They shared the interview thing. They shared the interview, yeah. And the official channel shared all the other stuff.
We're talking about
Werewolf 5th. The official channel has shared out the their infographics on the different auspices and tribes. And apparently breed is no longer a thing. We were talking about that a few weeks ago, remember? Hello?
Hey, you couldn't hear me. Huzzah. It would not be a game if I did not have myself muted. Anyways, thankfully
Thanks,
it wasn't.
Davy Jones.
Yep. Thank you again, Davy Jones.
MVP.
MVP. That would make him like 3 for 3 at this point, I think.
Yeah.
What would we do without him?
I know. No, actually, I was just talking about Home Devo came in chatting. He's also known as Lowercase J. Plays on his own channel, does the Avengers video game as well as WWE 2022K, I think, or something like that. I think that's what it's called. So anyway, yeah, sorry if we're coming in kind of loud. We're still kind of experimenting with the audio and where the stand is set up. I didn't like the echo I had before with the boom mic coming down, and then I looked up how to set up a microphone more correctly, and so I'm kind of doing that. Anywho, last we left off, there was lots of discussions about Nazis being evil, which we already knew. The struggles of humanity and why stealing is bad. No, I'm just kidding. No, the one of the big things we were talking about is you were reconning, trying to get information on the enemy. Sean had just teleported Ixion into it was the floorboard underneath the driver's seat.
Oh, yeah.
In his puddle form. So he can tag along and hopefully find out where that vehicle has gone. Mm-hmm. Leaving the rest of you there to wait back for his report. We also found out that for some reason, we know the end reason, but not exactly how, that the Ixion ship has been returned. And then there was some discussion about letting Sagan into the base and knowing where it's at.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay.
So, picking that up, right now you guys don't have anything to do in particular because you're waiting for a report from Ixion.
And we're still back at the hotel, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
There was also talking Angler out of flat out murdering people at this point too.
Yeah.
And by people, you mean Nazis.
There was that. And there was a brief moment between Angler and Sagan where he was like, I get it. If you want to go murder hobo, I'm right there with you.
I've got your back. When it comes to this particular group of people, I have got your back.
And for anyone who wasn't there, the other side was not, yay, Nazis. It was, let's wait and go through channels.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's not murder them.
Right, precisely. Cool.
So I will leave it up to you guys. Where are you going from here while you're waiting for an update from Ixion?
I have some memory of trying to call back to the States to find out, to call Aegis about technicalities of this target. Did I actually do that?
That was the intent. You hadn't actually done anything as of yet.
Okay. Oh, I remember. It was because there was some question about security issues, and then we got on the topic of getting on the same page as far as security protocols.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there was that too, yes. To-go bags and whatnot. Or bug out bags, I should say.
Talk about this stuff on a phone.
Right. Phone etiquette.
Well,
so did you want to make that call then, Carmen?
I would, but we're not really in a place where I could
do
that.
Fair enough.
So should we go to the local Aegis office and use their phone? Can we trust the local Aegis office?
From your interactions with the local Aegis agents, have you sensed any dishonesty or corruption from them?
I didn't, but at the same time, who knows how deeply these people are entrenched.
They have been able to help us so far. They were literally instrumental in us delivering the family to the States for refugee purposes. If they were in such control, that likely would not have happened.
They have a secure line back to the States. As secure as it can be.
Then why don't we go over there and regroup?
Excellent idea.
Yeah,
So
I'm fine with that.
Right. Then we hail a taxi or two and head on over to the Aegis location.
Okay, so before you hail a taxi or two, are you going in costume or are you going as your alternate identities? Because so far I don't know if any of them know what you actually look like outside of the under the mask, I should say.
I can make us look like someone else,
You sure can.
so we don't have to look like ourselves.
I just want to make sure that you
We're
guys have
definitely not
thought
going
this
in
part
costume.
through.
We're definitely not going in costume.
Okay.
She can always project the costume onto us like she did last time.
Okay. So that's what you're going plain clothes then, and when you get somewhere near the building or somewhere discreet, I guess you're going to.
Oh, I thought you meant about the taxi.
Well,
I
that
was like,
too.
no, we're not walking around town in our uniforms. I
Yeah, yeah.
thought
I
that
just
was
want to make sure
this
because you
country.
guys have to be discreet about this. I'm trying to figure out how
Oh,
you're
that's
doing that.
right.
So
Okay.
if we're actually wearing our uniforms and you project plainclothes on us, that might just be easier
Yeah,
for
I can
when
do
we
that.
need to be in action or
There
something.
you go.
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification.
No problem. Why don't you go ahead and give me our first roll for the night?
Oh boy.
Yep.
67 on
That's
psyche, right?
actually it's your sorry.
67 is yellow.
Yeah. Plenty good enough. So you in essence just take kind of like the last memory that you have of everybody's plainclothes outfit. And once everybody is prepped and you've got your costumes on, you just go whoop, without any issue whatsoever. For sake of sake of attendance and my own sanity, Sean right now is actually remaining at the hotel.
Okay.
That way, it's just easier for me to keep track of who's there.
Sure.
So hailing the cab again, not something we need to role play through. It's actually super easy. And do you go directly to the office tower, or do you go someplace nearby and just hoof it?
We go a couple of blocks away.
Okay,
Because this guy might remember our faces, and at least we can say that we're looking for something else.
sure. Not a problem. Again, just wanting to make sure because I know you guys are trying to be
Incognito.
discreet. Incognito. Hello, Vancouver by night.
Okay.
Welcome.
We could always pull a Robert Downey Jr. and be so overt that we're covert.
You could absolutely try that if you were so inclined.
That's Sophie's policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carmen does not have the looks, nor does she have the shoes. Unfortunately, that
Yeah.
she has
She could
other
pretend.
skills. She could. She certainly could. But without further ado, you get dropped off. You kind of walk back a little ways to kind of cover your steps to make sure you're not super obvious. There are actually some agents at the front door downstairs. They don't pay any attention to you guys, of course, as you walk in. They just seem to be keeping their eyes out. Looks like there may be some sort of heightened security about the office building.
Are they in uniform?
Yes, but not like the tactical uniform, more plainclothes. So
But they're still armed.
yes, they have security gear on them, but they're like, earpiece, polos, and khakis with like, a tack belt.
Gotcha.
And do they Can could if we like walk through the door and like I let the facade down,
Mm-hmm.
could people still see us from the street?
From the front door, yes. If you walked in further to the like elevators or whatnot, really the only people that could see you were if they were already in the building.
And they're just letting us in as our plainclothes selves right now. We're
Uh-huh.
not getting any pushback. Okay.
No, no.
This is a very inconvenient setup. Okay, so I'll wait till we get to the elevator.
Okay. Not a problem. You hit the button. It kind of shuffles its way down, a little bit of a rattle to it. And then the doors don't have that, that ease of movement like you're used to from, modern American machinery. It's got like that sort of, chunky movements. You guys climb into the elevator, drop the illusion, and right on up.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
So the elevator, coming up, it stops about halfway. You end up seeing some lady who is about ready to ride the elevator and sees the three of you sitting there. She's got like, several folders in her hands, and she was instinctively walking. She just stops real quick and she's like, I'll catch the next one. And just takes a step back.
Maybe I should have waited till we stepped out of the elevator. If they share this building with other businesses. Okay, whatever.
They do.
We can't stay hidden forever. I believe we'll be fine.
So the doors, just shut and it starts going up more. And when you get to the floor that the Aegis office here is, currently occupied, it's about 10 stories up. There's still, many stories above that, but about 10 stories up. Doors open up. There's two agents sitting right there, near the doors. Both of these are in actual tactical uniform with the Aegis logo, imprinted on the side, and of course on an arm badge on their right side. And they hold you up a second until they realize who exactly you are, based on the uniforms that you're currently wearing, and then one of them just motions you forward.
Right, yeah. Following their directions, we can get to the agent we've been talking to before.
Sure. So when you step through the front door of this old, overly large gumshoe looking like office, nowhere near as high tech as the one you're used to back in Strongford. But you walk in, and the office is abuzz. There are several people. Looks like they're fielding calls. You've got a chalkboard currently being used where you're making some like quick notes in a shorthand you don't quite understand. And as you come walking in, there's a brief pause that everybody acknowledges that you walked in, and they just go right back to doing what it is that they were doing. Quickly, Agent Aguilar comes walking, forward, kind of with a hastened step, and he says, "Legacy, I didn't expect to see you today. Was there something we could help with?"
May we use your phone?
Odd request, but of course.
We just like to call our home office.
In the conference room?
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Hello, Shelley. She's in the chat.
Hey.
So, he just walks you over to the conference room, and opens the door to let you guys in. He says, "If you need me, I'm going to be right out here on the floor. So just flag me down or something."
Thank you. We appreciate the privacy.
So door shut. You've got your rotary phone.
Well, okay. So I guess I will dial the home office and put it on. Do they have speaker? They do have speaker.
They do have speaker, yes. It's one of those older contraptions, though, where you're going to take the dial-up phone, take the receiver, set it down on a base, and then that base turns around electronically and turns it into a conference phone.
I love how every game we have to stop and think. Wait, did they have this in 1994?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That was a long time ago.
There were contraptions for it in '94.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you eventually make the call. You get through, and there's obviously a lot of phone traffic when the international operator connects you over. No, 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 no.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yep. And then phone picks up. Aegis Foundation.
Hi, can we talk to Mr. Danvers? This is Legacy.
Legacy. I don't have a listing for Legacy. Is he expecting your call?
No.
Can we inquire as to what this is about?
Local operations.
But you came in on an international line, ma'am.
This is the Aegis office, right?
Yes. Why does your name, why does your voice sound familiar? Have I spoken to you before?
I don't know.
Is this Nene? Are we hearing like Nene's voice right now, or is it somebody else?
Yes. Those of you who interacted with her a bunch, yes, this is Nene.
Okay.
Why did she say this is Nene?
Because she likes to give you the whip too.
I assumed it was someone else. Well, I said this is Legacy. Okay, anyway, sorry, you were making me wonder if this was like the operator or if it was the actual office.
Nene, this is Hyperion with the Legacy, along with Lightbringer and Angler. How are you?
Oh, hi. How are you guys? I'm sorry. I thought you were saying you were like a hero by the name of Legacy. It's like crazy busy here, guys. I am so sorry. How can I help?
We'd like to speak to Mr. Danvers, if that's all right.
He's in like a bunch of meetings right now. Is it an emergency? I could buzz him if it is.
I'm pretty sure he's going to want to know.
So
yes.
Okay.
Please.
Sorry, for call reasons, I've got to make sure I hear the affirmative. Okay, let me put you on a hopefully a brief hold, and I will try an emergency patch through with him.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Then you hear. I think we're alone now. It's only you and me just a hanging around.
I know we're alone now.
Yep. And then, it's like at this point, the call, that song goes like all the way through. You end up hearing, Tiffany's One Hit. And then, softly, in the background, you end up hearing, you end up hearing Out of the Blue by Debbie Gibson.
You're really going hard on these references now, sir.
Yeah.
And then just before that song finally ends, the phone picks up, and it's Nene again. She says, "Okay, I was able to get a hold of him. You've only got a couple minutes, though, so I'm about to patch you through. Are you guys still there?"
Yep.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
are.
Okay, you're welcome. Hold one moment. there's a brief hold. You don't hear the music because it's a transfer hold. And then the phone picks up. Legacy, this is Danvers. What's going on? Sorry, things are really crazy busy here right now.
Yeah, sorry about that. I know you've got a lot of things to handle. You know we're working in Argentina, right?
Yes, I am up to date on that.
Um, Amidst our investigations here, we came across something we'd like a little guidance on.
Guidance. Define guidance. Are we talking you killed somebody, need an attorney?
No,
You broke international law that no one knows about?
No laws have been broken. We are needing guidance on individuals that we have discovered who would have been war criminals and were assumed dead.
Oh, wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that.
we have some concern that they are entrenched with the government, perhaps, and we don't want to step on any toes while we. This is a very delicate situation, I'm sure.
I see. Okay, so hit me with it. What's going on?
There is an organization here known as the Hydrix. Apparently, they are from Reinhard Heydrich himself, the Nazi who orchestrated the Holocaust during World War II. We know he is still alive. He has been seen. And he is the one who's actually orchestrating this organization, which effectively acts as a criminal organization controlling this area of Argentina, and has been for the past several decades. We believe that they have ties or are part of the remnants, the individuals who have been kidnapping individuals, primarily the empowered here in Argentina recently.
Interesting. Yeah, that's going to complicate matters. Do you have physical evidence that he's around, or is this? How have you come about this information?
We have literally seen him. First, we have had confirmation from an associate of ours who has access to different records as well to confirm that it is him. We unfortunately don't have any video evidence as of yet or anything of that nature. We have seen him personally. He seems to have a base of operations which we are trying to locate as we speak, but clandestinely, so as not to reveal ourselves. And we are also concerned because of how long this organization has been here, that they are in control of perhaps several portions of the local government.
They have a good hearts and minds down here.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, we've long heard the rumor that Nazi remnants had moved into Argentina. I just wasn't sure that it was just widespread, let alone an actual Nazi war criminal. So yeah, this definitely complicates things. So here's what we're looking at right now. Obviously, with the fact that this individual would still be wanted for war crimes, we would want to raise the red flag to the appropriate authorities. In doing so, we can almost guarantee this person's going to flee. They're going to go to ground, and it's going to be difficult to find them. And
Right.
if they have the control that we think that they have in Argentina, it's going to create a pretty big international issue. For how long and for how much, I don't know. And it's going to obviously affect several world powers, not to mention New Prussia.
You now understand why we called you.
Right.
That assumes New Prussia is involved with the people down here. as much as I'm loath to admit it, I doubt that they want anything to do with it. They've seemed pretty adamant that they wanted to cut ties with this particular aspect of that organization.
Right. And it would be just like President Jurgen to take matters into his own hands. So we're walking a tightrope here. If they got involved, that would easily be seen as a big win for them. It would
They
clearly
can very much flex their power.
Right. And then we don't know what would happen from there. If we sound the alarm, there's going to be elements that are going to alert them, and there's no telling where they're going to flee to.
On the other hand, if the best course of action is to attempt to apprehend him ourselves, I have some concerns over the fact that he is still alive and also surrounded by possibly others. But if that seems to be the appropriate response, then we'll do our best.
Well, you are our eyes and ears in that particular area since you raised the concern. The other issue that I think we're going to be facing is if we sneak in, if you were successful in, let's say, detaining him and fleeing the country with him successfully, what's going to happen to their network? This is very much an issue of, is he worth taking and removing him off the board and then hoping that the innocents that are still in Argentina, that are caught up in this network that you've reported, that they just don't go missing forever?
Clearly, our first concern is all those that they've kidnapped who may still be alive. We'll want to locate where they are and see if they can be saved first.
Do you have any allies or anyone you can tap in Argentina?
Sadly, no.
Well, I may have one. I don't know him personally. I just know he's popped up in the news every so often. Goes by the name of Fury. Apparently, he's a legacy hero of some kind. Takes after Ms. Fury from World War II. And he's apparently been involved in several kerfuffles with the local authorities, as well as, if it's to be believed from what you're telling us, likely the Nazi remnants as well. But the stories are obviously slanting it against him.
We have seen information about this Fury in the local newspapers here. They're painting him as a vigilante.
Right. Given the fact that he's related to Ms. Fury, I find it highly dubious that this individual is working against the will of the people. It would seem that it's a media slander campaign by those allied with the Nazi remnants that you're encountering now, which is what we're going to have to deal with if you make a move. My suggestion first would be to see if you could possibly make contact with this individual and find out what he knows. He may have some information on the ground that the rest of us don't at this point. The other target of opportunity that we should try and suss out would be the network. If we can at least find how the network works, how they're getting people off the streets and getting them to places like Senia, the rest is an acceptable collateral loss if we can get Heinrich out of there.
Understood. So locating Fury and understanding their network. All right. To your knowledge, has there been any sort of penetration into the Aegis Foundation network here that we should be aware of in Argentina? Again, with the Hydrix having so much control, we weren't sure how secure even this location would be.
I don't specifically know. It is obviously one of our satellite branches. I know we've obviously taken security into consideration. The only person that I figure is likely your best bet is Agent Aguilar, who has been assisting you. He actually came from Strongford.
Understood.
So I happen to know that he has been personally vetted. The rest are obviously local hires, so there could potentially be a leak there, as loath as I am to admit that.
Problem with not having a strong presence in the locations.
It definitely is, but you know, it as a company we have to grow somehow.
Understandable. I looked at the other two. Anything else that we needed to know?
Not that I can think of.
Can I ask if there's anything significant that's popped up at home that has you so busy?
Yes. It's funny that you should ask. A couple of things. Obviously, we're dealing with your family. So we're in the process of getting them someplace safe, but that is obviously causing some media narrative issues that we're dealing with. Nothing terrible. And it's good that they came to Strongford first because the locals here are bending over backwards to try and assist. Bad PR from previously.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that. We had another break-in attempt at Quantum Unlimited. We managed to stop it, but this time it actually came in the form of Dr. October.
Oh dear.
So we're trying to ascertain where the connection is. But we'll let you know more when we've got a handle on it. We didn't want to alert you to anything as of yet. We haven't detected any sort of break-in, just an attempted break-in. Our men were able to fend him off, which was the weird thing, given the fact that he didn't seem to put up too much of an effort. I don't think either he didn't expect us to be on premises, or this wasn't his primary target. So again, we're trying to put two and two together there and figure what exactly is going on. Lastly, the Baltic nations are on alert right now. I don't know if you know anything about geopolitical politics, but the countries of Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia have, at some measure or another, been petitioning to join NATO. This has caused, and this actually happened in real life, this has actually caused Russia to go on high alert because of the growth of NATO. We have actually been tasked for some additional assistance because apparently New Prussia is stepping into the mix.
On which side?
On the side of the Baltic states, which doesn't fit the MO of the country.
That is interesting.
That is interesting.
We know through secret channels that particular country has been offering assistance to some of the Baltic states, but nothing like this. So that has caused the world to go on alert, because it's one thing for the Baltic states to join NATO. It's another thing for a Baltic state union with New Prussia.
That would give Prussia significantly more power than it already has.
Correct. And it would also open up 3 different nations for free trade. Among other things, obviously, the sharing of supplies, demand. It would also give them a stranglehold on the Baltic Sea, which the Soviet Union had held almost in its iron grip collectively. And now with Russia being what it is and having to walk back some of its, some of its nations that it absorbed, there is a very high anti-Russian sentiment going through that region. So naturally, it has gotten a lot of the world powers on high alert.
Interesting.
How has the Aegis Foundation responded? Have they been tasked by certain nations to provide additional super security?
We have, yes. That's the reason why we know about it. The president of Estonia specifically requested our assistance because they were in meets with the new Prussian government. So they wanted, as they put it, equal footing. Which I completely understand, given the fact that per capita, New Prussia now has more superpowered individuals than many of the neighboring nations.
I would probably say the majority of them, like combined.
You probably wouldn't be far off, but getting that sort of information would be very difficult.
All right. Well, thank you for the update.
We'll continue to keep up the good work. We'll try to find a more secure way to remain in touch.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Danvers.
All right, Danvers out, hangs up.
Did we bring Sagan with us to the meeting?
Probably not.
Okay.
Given the fact it wasn't specified.
Okay. Well, I think we should ask Agent Aguilar if he knows how to contact this Fury person.
Agreed. He may at least lead us in the general direction. Let's see. So, Hyperion goes out into the office to see if he can find Agent Aguilar.
Oh, yeah, he's kind of directing traffic right now.
Okay.
P.S. When when Danvers said, dealing with your family, Carmen was like,
That has two answers there.
and then he continued, and I was like, oh, that family.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't know about your connections.
Right. I was like, wait a minute. And so it could have been like Carmen's family, or like our family, or like the family.
It's like, oh no, he knows.
Everyone knows now. Cool. So yeah, I've flagged him down. Agent Aguilar. A moment, please.
Oh, so he tells somebody to hold as they're fielding some calls, and he comes running over real quick. He's in a plainclothes uniform. So, I mean, it's basically a stylized polo shirt that has the Aegis logo on it. Dressed like the guys downstairs.
Okay.
How can I help? What's going on?
Well, after communicating with the Home Office, we have new objectives to see what we can do about the situation in the area with the Hydrix and so forth. One possible ally we've been directed to is Fury, a vigilante reported on in the area. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, he's made the news several times. We don't know him specifically, but yeah.
Then by that I take it you yourself wouldn't happen to know how to reach Fury.
Not offhand. Let me think about how you would do something like that. Because we don't know who he's tied to. Well,
have there been any patterns between the locations he's been spotted in, the enemies he fights and so forth?
It's been all around town. He seems to pop up wherever whatever is hottest, I guess. I don't know if he has like a specific agenda or something, but he's been pretty quick to respond.
Do you have a photo?
Oh, sure. Yeah, he goes, running off real quick to go find, like some newspaper clippings or something so you can see what he ends up looking like.
Is he is he incognito, or does he just look like a regular person?
No, Fury looks basically, imagine it's like a full one piece like jumpsuit looking thing, but has a little bit, and it's all black, but it has kind of cat ears coming off the back.
It kind of sounds like the Black Panther outfit almost, but with slight differences as far as like
Kind of,
cameras
yeah.
and
But
stuff.
the pictures show him using a bullwhip.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Real Indiana Jones vibe with this guy. Even though I don't think it's really Indiana Jones.
Wait, did you send us a picture?
I actually did not.
Okay. I was like, I didn't see him.
Well, the way he described him is a male Catwoman.
Yeah. that would be a good way to a masculine Catwoman.
Okay.
But let's be honest, that's Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones doesn't look anything like that. He has a bullwhip.
Yeah, right.
That's where the similarities begin and end.
Okay.
He says, do you happen to know any of the legacy heroes from World War II? I'm sure, since he seems to be related or carrying on the same motif as Miss Fury, that somebody might know something.
I looked at the team. We could reach out to S.H.I.E.L.D.
We could.
It's worth a try.
But I'm pretty sure he's tired of hearing from us.
Do you think he would reject us if we asked for this information?
No, I doubt he would.
Then it's worth a try. Anybody else we can think of that would actually help in this regard? He seems to be the one most directly related to the legacy heroes that we actually know.
There's also War Nurse back at the Aegis Home Office.
Oh yeah, Warner's. She was she, from what I understand, trained with the original Warners.
That's my understanding.
So good call. Maybe she knows something.
I'm not sure how to reach her either, except by calling the Home Office again.
Agent, would you happen to have that information, since Warner does seem to be contracted with the Aegis Foundation? Would we be able to contact them?
I could look up something if you give me a couple minutes.
Excellent.
So he goes running off to a computer real quick to go access some information. And then he comes back and he says, she's on assignment in Estonia right now. So reaching her might be kind of difficult.
So we start with S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Correct.
Well, if you strike out there, I may be able to patch you through somehow. I just don't know how long it's going to take.
Sure.
Understood. Would you mind if we kept using your telephone system?
He says, Mikasa Sukasa, go ahead.
Thank you. Head back to the conference room.
Okay.
And go ahead and what's that? The institute thing called Haven Institute.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so try to give the Haven Institute a call.
Okay. So it rings, and then of course international dispatcher puts you through, and you hear some ringing some more. Hold on one second. Oops. Why did that not come up? Okay.
I forgot to put the 1.
On the
Forgot to
rotary
hit-
foam.
You forgot to hit 9 to dial out.
Yeah, right.
There we go. Okay. And here we are. Oh, that's the wrong file. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Hold, please.
What are all these vampires doing here?
Here we go. That's what I was looking for. All right, so you end up hearing, some gruff voice pick up the phone. Yeah.
Hello, we are trying to reach Shield. This is the Haven Institute, correct?
Yeah, this is. What are you, some sort of telemarketer or something?
No, I apologize. This is Hyperion of the Legacy in Strongford, Colorado.
Hyperion. That sounds like some kind of insurance.
Yes, not quite. We are a super heroic group organization in Strongford. We've had contact with Shield before. We assisted him when he was attacked.
All right, so you end up hearing, like, as you're talking, you end up hearing like the mouthpiece get covered, and you hear somebody yell, like, "Hey, Joe, got some sort of superhero insurance thing on the phone." And he comes then you end up hearing another voice come over. It's like, I'm sorry. Hello, who is this?
This is Hyperion from the Legacy.
Oh, Hyperion. Oh, and then you hear him, like, you turn the thing away. It's like, no, this is an appropriate call. Just keep training, Mantle. And you hear like some random grumbling and loud thumping, loud enough that you can actually hear it on the phone. He says, "Sorry, the student was the one that was closest to the phone. I'm sorry. How can I help?"
Yes, we were actually hoping that you had information regarding Ms. Fury and anybody she may have taken under her wing. We are currently operating outside of the country, trying to understand what's going on about a secret organization that's here. One that may have been attacked recently by one who calls themselves Fury. And we believe that their predecessor may have been Ms. Fury.
Interesting. I haven't had contact with Miss Fury in a number of years. But I think I know how I can probably reach out to her. You don't need this information like right away, do you?
As soon as it can be obtained would be preferable. How long do you think it would take you?
It's been a while since I've reached out. Not that we're on bad terms. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you give me your number? And as soon as I find out something, I will give you a call back.
Definitely. You'll be able to reach us, or at least provide information to Agent Aguilar here at the Argentina Aegis Foundation base. I look in the phone to see if it has a phone number on it, or
Yeah,
do I already remember? Okay.
Yeah, and it has an extension too for the conference room.
Okay, cool. I go ahead and provide that to him.
Okay. He says, "All right, great. I will let you know as soon as I know more."
Excellent. Thank you.
So he hangs up.
Yep. That is now underway. In the meantime, to be efficient, we should see about sussing out the information regarding the network that they are clearly using in order to kidnap extra individuals. Thoughts on how to approach the situation?
It would help if we had an in-man, someone who was already familiar with the local area, but I don't think even Aguilar has someone that well connected.
We could begin with the fundamentals and simply perform our reconnaissance as we were before, heading to different
Observation.
locations. Exactly. Observing different locations that we know or can determine that the Hydrix have been operating from mainly. Perhaps if we can go to the locations where the individuals were kidnapped, there may be information or evidence that the local authorities have not actually found. And on that note, the local authorities themselves may have a degree of corruption if we're right about the Hydrix control in the area, and therefore actually heading to one of their stations and seeing if we can obtain information there might be possible.
Could we leave some sort of listening bugs or tracking devices?
We don't have any with us, but if we obtain the materials, I can make them in short order.
That could be useful.
He's gonna poke his head out the room. Agent Aguilar, can you come in here for a moment?
Yeah, on my way. He seems to be kind of working as the second level supervisor for a lot of the phone calls. So it's like, as somebody says, "Hold, please," or something, he runs over to try and answer them or whatnot for whatever business is going on. He comes, running up. He says,
He's wearing his running shoes.
"Yeah." So, what can I help with?
Do you have any bugs?
Kind of like looks around and he says,
Electronic listening devices.
"Gotcha. Okay." Just wanted to make sure, the office isn't the cleanest. I wasn't sure if this was an off-color joke or something. No, we definitely have some of that.
Mind if we get like 5 or 6 of them? If you have that many? To
No,
spare?
of course not.
Excellent.
I'll just have to fill out a request form for it to let them know that they've been taken out. But that's not going to be a big deal.
Excellent.
So we got bugs.
Excellent.
Now to know where to place them.
Are you, since it sounds like you're setting up for reconnaissance, are you going to need like a parabolic mic or anything as well?
That could be helpful.
If you have it available, anything that you have would be useful.
Of
We
course.
do have powers that allow us to do certain things, but additional technology is always helpful.
Yeah, and we've got some of the standards. Yeah. Oh, cool. David Rivera Jr. is now following us on Facebook. Thank you.
Excellent. An agent, you were able to find information regarding what Fury looked like. Do you happen to have any records regarding the locations and incidences where the different deviant individuals were kidnapped recently?
We have some, yes. It's not something that we had been actively tracking, but yes, we do have some, mostly in newspaper articles. So, I mean, if you need some of that, I can obviously sweep the desks and get some of that for you.
That'd be appreciated. That might be one angle we take, using these bugs to see if there's anything in those areas or any individuals that are acting as scouts for the Hydric organization.
He says, far be it from me to suggest this, but if you were so inclined, you may be able to pass for one of them. with the right clothing,
True.
if you follow what I'm meaning.
Infiltrating them. Well, that would require us locating them first, which we actually do know of a location where they operate, across from where the allowances were, where we first saw Hydric himself.
Well, I mean, that might be an option as well, if for no other reason than to get. If you're trying to get in-depth information, I don't think you could get all the way back into wherever their home base is at, but you might be able to get somebody to spill the beans on local shipments or drop spots or something of that nature if you were, again, so inclined.
Do you, or does anyone here at the Aegis space know of any hotspots of, or possible hotspots of Hydric activity?
Yes, we do. Some of them stand out pretty obviously, or I should say, very Aryan of themselves.
Noted. That is an option. I can even make myself look the part, and then in German I say sound the part.
He says, well, there you go. It's just a matter of if they have scanners or not in some of those locations, because you could ping as something you're not.
Granted.
I'm just kind of trying to think out of the box, but I know some of that's becoming a little bit more common now.
Understood.
He says, anyways, let me go fill out the forms and get you your equipment that you requested for. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
So he goes off at that point and goes off to a secure room to start checking out the equipment that you've requested.
Thoughts on the infiltration idea?
Who would it be, and who could reasonably pass? Those are the questions that come up whenever you talk about infiltration.
I could act, look, and sound like the part, but to the agent's point, if they had any degree of scanners, they would know my true nature immediately. If they don't, however, that could still work. Which would mean that one of you would have to play the part, since both of you are biological.
You have a good point.
Neither of us speak German, though.
True. Have you ever heard of Cyrano de Bergerac? The type of story where one individual fed lines to another. This was an attempt to woo a woman who he himself could not speak to without making mistakes verbally. I know German, and therefore could feed the information and translate in real time.
It's a possibility.
Follow-up question for that is, would we be able to pronounce it properly?
Fair point.
They might not even care if you really spoke German, though. That may just be an assumption that we're making.
True. When it comes to both of your psychic powers, to what degree can you use that? I understand through simple communication, verbally and whatnot, but can you obtain information from minds?
No, not at this point.
conveying messages directly only.
And at that point, Agent Aguilar comes in with the gear. He says, "All right, so we've got 5 bugs." And here's a small little case for them. He says their radius is good for 2 miles, so you're going to want to stay relative to the target you're tracking. And we've got 1 parabolic mic, complete with headsets and charge pack, good for 3 hours of constant use. Obviously, much longer if you're using it sparingly.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, with that, do you also happen to have the information with regard to the recent hotspots? We're right now trying to determine how exactly we want to approach the situation.
He said he provides you the newspaper articles as well. This is what we have in the office. I think there's like 3 or 4 listed there.
Okay. Hyperion looks through them, like kind of reads through them quickly, and just from the descriptions and whatnot, can I determine any type of like geographic pattern of like, are there certain spots that seem like they'd hit? Like, is there a pattern to where they go, when they do it, or whatever?
No, at least not initially. But go ahead and give me an intuition check because geologically speaking, because as you're looking at the city, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense at first.
Okay, intuition EX20. 97. Yep, that's red result.
That is a red result. Nice.
I got a green result.
Wait, was I supposed to roll something? I was looking up a map.
Oh no,
Sorry.
you're fine. You don't have to. It was mostly for Hyperion.
Okay.
So as you're looking at it, yeah, geologically speaking, you're like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But then when you start looking at it, you start seeing that these have access to the main freeway in the country. And it's almost by direct route. Like you only have to take a series of maybe 2 roads to get to them, whether they be long or whatever. So there's clearly a main artery that they're accessing.
Okay.
Which makes sense. The other one that makes sense is a lot of these places, building wise, seem to have some sort of like heavy shipping presence. Either like sending them off by boat, sending them off by land transportation, by truck, something of that nature.
Are they actually like shipping like businesses themselves, or places that just would ship lots of stuff?
You don't see any direct correlation. You're just looking at the map and kind of cross-referencing businesses that are there.
Okay. All right. So I mentioned that. I'm like, it seems that all the locations have close access to the main freeway in the area, and the different buildings here seem to have a large shipping presence to and from, where they could be obtaining materials and perhaps shipping out individuals.
So Agent Aguilar says, well, then that gives you a search pattern at least.
Excellent. It's at least something to start with. We are still waiting for S.H.I.E.L.D.'s call. If we are gone when he returns, I've let S.H.I.E.L.D. know to respond to you, Agent Aguilar. If he does contact you, if you'd be able to reach out to us.
Roger that. I can absolutely do that.
Excellent. Any other thoughts, team?
No, we should start working on this right away.
Excellent. Yeah. Again, thank you, Agent.
Oh, of course. I'm actually very happy to help. Just keep me in the loop and I'll let you know when he calls.
Of course.
Thank you.
Go ahead and pick up the requisition gear and take off.
Okay. And do you head back into the elevators in your costumes?
Yes, and then in the elevators I'll...
Okay. Poof.
Presto.
So as you guys are, going back down several floors, the elevator actually comes to a stop on another one. And that lady you guys saw before, no folders or anything in her hand. She like pauses real quick and looks, and she's like, okay, and then steps onto the elevator and then presses her button to go down.
When she does that, and we go down. I say, "You looked distressed. Is everything okay?"
She said, "Yeah." She just looks around. She says, "I've never seen super types up front, like the superpowered beings and whatnot. You don't see them in uniforms just walking around. It was kind of scary."
Oh, so you're scared of them then? Even if they're superheroes?
I don't know if they're superheroes. We're supposed to report them if we see them.
Out of curiosity, we're actually new to the area. Who is it that we would be reporting them to?
La Policia.
Oh, so the police have orders to report anyone with superpowers.
Correct.
Thank you.
Alrighty then. Is she
I miss-
carrying a purse?
I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's in Spanish.
No, that was in English.
Oh,
And
Um,
pretty good English, actually, too.
I'm gonna take one of those lovely little bugs, and it's going right into her purse. I have sleight of hand, and I'm gonna spend 50 experience points on this.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Well,
I will distract her with another question.
I don't think it's needed, but sure.
This lady is going to be bugged.
I'm
so hold on a second. So what is your agility?
Let me pull that up real quick. Base agility is remarkable.
Okay, and you have sleight of hand that puts you at IN 40. You've already spent 50. You don't even need to roll at this point. You've already got a green result.
roll anyway just to see what you get.
$81. I didn't
Okay.
need to-
So that is effectively a red result then. So basically, he ends up doing the whole like Mulan thing where she's trying to grab the fish from the water and then like somehow grabs the toe from the person nearby or yanks him all the way up and under. He's just like whoosh, like real quick with like ninja skills and drops that bug, in the purse, like just as you start asking your question. Like it was
Nice.
smooth as butter.
All right.
I didn't
So,
even need to
your
spend
question,
the
Karma?
experience point. But
I understand reporting anyone you see in a costume, but are there people who use superpowers without wearing costumes?
She says, "Of course. They're not smart, but of course.
Interesting.
It's against the law, so it wouldn't be wise if you had that to not cover your cover your face. But that's not for me to say."
How do you feel about it being against the law? Superpowers, that is.
She says, "I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't want to. I don't want to lose my job because I, covered up for somebody."
That makes sense. I understand.
Well, if it keeps order.
She just nods and says, as the elevator goes down, "All of you have a nice day." And she just goes walking off some other place in the building.
Was that on the same? Was that on the ground floor? Like,
Yeah.
or is that just different? Okay.
Yeah.
So then after she walks off a distance, and then we get off the elevator, turn to the two and go, well, that actually points the arrow towards the police as another possible lead to see if they have any direct ties to the organization.
let's get back to the hotel first, real quick.
Yeah, let's go tell Sagan what the plan is.
Agreed.
Okay, I put down a few moments again. You guys hail a cab, go across the lovely Buenos Aires to your awaiting hotel. And as that happens, of course, as you guys show up, Sagan, sits up as the rest of you are entering. She's clearly on edge with everything that's been going on, and was about to draw a weapon on you. But then, as you enter, she looks directly at Carmen and she says, "You may want to call the president."
About what?
She was watching TV and there was a media announcement about the Baltic states.
Taking a look, is it the same thing that Danvers was talking about, or
It's
something
a
else?
little bit different of a take given the media spin, but yeah.
Do you have a way to contact him?
You mean through like a secure channel? Oh, nothing of that nature, no.
Which president are you talking about?
Your
Your employer, the United States president, or the president of Aegis?
my employer.
Do you think it can wait until we get back stateside?
She kind of looks up at the TV and she says, "I don't." That's not for me to say, ma'am.
Are you saying this in reference to perhaps your need to return, or is there some other reason you would want us to contact them?
No, my job is to protect her. I would hear somehow directly if that had somehow changed.
All right. We have been hearing recently about the goings-on in the Baltic states. Political power is shifting, obviously. But at the moment, we have the mission here at hand. We can't solve the world's problems all simultaneously, one at a time. With that said, we have some ideas as far as what to do. We are waiting for S.H.I.E.L.D. to provide us with information to see if we can locate Fury, the vigilante in the area. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for that information, we want to see if we can actually crack the infrastructure and network that the Hydrics seem to be using in the area. Whatever they do to successfully locate and kidnap those who are empowered. It seems that there is some sort of pattern where they keep hitting locations that are near the highway, and there are buildings nearby that have a heavy shipping presence. If we can continue with this pattern, we may be able to see where they would strike next and either intercept them, or in the meantime, try to infiltrate wherever they're essentially making base near that location.
Understood.
We also have 4 listening devices, active time listening bugs that need to be monitored. The 5th one is already planted.
That was fast. So
Freddy's a little suspicious.
what sort of radius are we looking at?
2-mile radius.
Not much.
Yeah, not much.
The lovely lady who we were having a conversation with took a lot of interest in what we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
She did. At the same time, it seemed as if she was simply a concerned citizen trying to follow the laws of the land. which seem to be that all superpowers are illegal and report all superpower beings to the police. It may
And
be that there's corruption there, clearly.
Which leads me to
Is-
wonder if she saw us in the elevator in our uniforms, do you think she may have reported us already?
Isn't it a wonderful thing that there's a bug hidden in her purse so we can find out?
I look at the device that we have to track those to see if she's within range of it.
Okay, so yeah, the device isn't currently picking anything up. You guys have traveled outside of its radius.
Okay. Wonder if there's a way to modify this. The beacons themselves would be transmitting, so they themselves would have to be modified, or the scanner itself would need to be modified. Or Hyperion to mainframe. Can you read me?
Affirmative.
Mainframe. I have a challenge for you if you think you're capable. The challenge being there is technology, specifically 5 different bugs, electronic listening devices that we have. The range is only 2 miles. Do you believe we'd be able to patch in our communications network with these to give us unlimited range for the bugs?
Calculating. Attempt could be possible if a network was subverted locally, such
Can you
as
find one in this
a
area?
radio tower.
Have you been able to find one in this area that you can subvert?
Well, he locates. I mean, he gives you the rough addresses of all the radio towers that are in the area.
Okay.
And basically, what he tells you is a device is going to have to be physically connected to it to allow that sort of access. But if you did that, then yes.
Look to the team. Is that something we should pursue? It could be done. I could fashion a device in relatively short order. Again, if we simply just obtain the materials, which again we could simply purchase.
They would be significantly more useful if we didn't have to stay in such close range.
True.
Especially as we have no idea how far our targets may end up traveling.
Interesting. With my knowledge of machines and stuff, would I know, like, would I have to go to, like, a computer console connected to the radio towers, or could just something be, like, if Freddy flew up to one and, like, planted it on a tower or something and flew away, or if Shone teleported, plopped it on there, teleported away?
No, it would actually have to be dropped into the line itself. It doesn't have to be like into the machinery of the radio tower, but at least where the line is tethering up to the pole for the broadcast. If it was basically, cut and then slapped in between and let it go through it, then yes, you could do it that way.
Okay, so we've got to physically get in there, do some tinkering, and then it works more or
Yeah,
less.
it's basically just a patch job.
Okay. The only difficulty would be infiltrating these locations and planting the device. However, Lightbringer, of course, with you and your cloaking ability, either one or two of us could then go in clandestinely, attach the device, and leave without anyone knowing.
That shouldn't be hard.
Excellent. It's the simplest task. Let's see if we can accomplish that first so that these trackers can actually be useful to us at any range. In the meantime, then, I'll be traveling to a local hardware store to acquire the materials needed for the device. Let's see. Sagan should stay with Lightbringer, as often as possible, just for added security. Freddy, would you be willing to accompany me to the hardware store?
I will be glad to do that.
Excellent. In the meantime, well, it seems that there is nothing additional we could accomplish unless there's something else that we can do at the same time.
I wonder if I could reach my grandfather with Mainframe's help.
Mainframe, do you believe you'd be able to patch in Lightbringer to Jurgen, located in Prussia, New Prussia?
Affirmative.
Never used my communicator as a long distance telephone, but could be very useful.
Do you plan on actually contacting him?
Well, I'm very curious what he may have to say.
I see. Well, in that case, we'll leave you to your conversation if you plan on having that. And Hyperion, go ahead and heads out so you can hail a cab again.
All right. So you guys getting the parts is not going to be hard at all. You know exactly what it is you're looking for. So why don't you go ahead and just give me a reason roll? Or hyper invention, sorry.
Okay, cool.
Since I know that's what you have.
Yeah. There it is. Okay. 11. Yeah, obviously what result?
Okay, yeah. So you are unable to create it at this point in time, but you have an idea of what it is that you're wanting to do. So you've basically collected all the parts. You're going to take them back to the hotel room to take your time at this point to put them together.
Yeah.
You will be able to do it in rush order.
If I added my assistants, would that help?
When he comes back, probably.
Okay.
So while they're out, then Sagan looks to you and she says, "Ma'am, aren't you the least bit interested as to what's going on?"
Yeah. I'm still new at the idea that this is any of my business.
Oh. I mean, you'll have to forgive me. I don't fully understand your relationship with your grandfather, so I just assumed it was kind of a family affair, I guess.
Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any. Let's see, he gave me a phone number, right? As I recall.
Mm-hmm.
So I will ask Mainframe to assist in connecting with that phone number.
Affirmative. Patching through, and then you hear the deathly screams of something that's trying to connect to the internet sort of sound.
Ye old modem.
Yep, ye old modem sound. Ping, ping, ping. And the phone, ends up coming through. Hello?
Hello?
Who is this? And how did you
Um,
obtain this number?
This is Carmen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't get many calls ever.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It is what it is. You are calling now. I assume you are okay to speak.
I wouldn't get too in depth, but for surface conversation, it should be fine.
Are you concerned over the line?
Well, just the it's probably fine.
Carmen sitting on a chair with the whole room on fire. This is fine.
This is very fine.
I saw you on the news.
Ah, yes. I thought perhaps you were calling about something else, but that actually does not matter. I am interested in your thoughts.
I was pleasantly surprised.
This alliance pleases you?
Well, it could help a lot of people. I just didn't expect that you would reach out in a altruistic sort of way.
Admittedly, it's not completely altruistic. The anti-Russian sentiment runs high in this region.
Right? With good reason.
I had hoped to speak to you about this matter, so it's fortuitous that you called.
How so?
I wanted your outside opinion. You are completely unconnected to everything that goes on here. I am not.
Fair enough.
If New Prussia makes this move, we would ally with the other Baltic states in a joint defensive agreement. In doing so, this would prevent the other Baltic nations in joining NATO, and it will also anger Russia.
I think angering Russia is probably a sign that it's the right thing to do.
Interesting. And your thoughts on NATO?
That's definitely complicated. I don't follow the international scene very closely, but I think if you intended to make a show of goodwill to your neighbors, this might help with that. I don't know if it would be better for them to be with NATO or with New Prussia, but you certainly have a lot of common sentiment regarding your other neighbors.
Interesting. Very well. So then you approve of this.
With the caveat that, again, I don't follow international politics especially closely.
I understand.
I'd say tentatively yes.
Good.
What is
And
it that you thought I would be calling about?
I was under the impression that you were calling because now you were able to speak. You were ready to speak to me.
Oh. Um,
I did not know this was a geopolitical conversation, although I am not opposed to such.
it wasn't meant to be. It was curiosity. Um, now may not be the best time for a um, strictly personal call. Um, that may have to wait um, until I finish an assignment.
Understood. Is there anything I can assist you with?
I'm not sure, but um, I will give that some thought.
And
Sagan has been especially helpful, so thank you
good.
for that.
I do apologize for the abrupt nature of her assignment, but I had hoped that she would be of assistance.
She is very capable.
I will ensure that that is noted on her record.
Thank you.
And you are well?
I'm fine.
Good. Was there anything else?
Um, I'm I'm gonna look to Sagan. She's probably trying not to pay attention to the conversation, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly a big room, but she's trying to give you some privacy.
Um, thank you for taking my call.
I will never refuse a call from you.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you, and to you as well with this assignment that you were on.
I'll call again.
Would it be too much to ask to have you over for dinner when you are done?
I'll see what I can do.
Very well, thank you. I appreciate your consideration.
Goodbye.
Okay, so he hangs up.
Thanks, mainframe.
Affirmative.
I'm going to turn to Sagan and say, what are your thoughts on this development? And I'll kind of
She
nod to
says
the queen.
she says, I'm not a politician. I don't. I don't fully know, but just looking at that, I knew when I prior to my assignment, I knew that Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania were all in pretty bad shape and recovering, having recently been released from the USSR. So their economies were not great.
Right.
I would imagine NATO was probably attempting to take advantage of that and bring them into both a military and economical pact of some kind.
So you think they would be in better shape being allied with New Prussia?
She shrugs. I mean, ma'am, you saw firsthand.
That is true. I kept looking for the other shoe to drop, and there didn't seem to be another shoe.
I think just thinking out loud, I think the only issue really is where they stand on deviant rights. And if they're willing to get to the table with New Prussia, it means they're probably putting some sort of prejudice aside. They may be looking at a new future now that they're not a part of the Soviet Union. I mean, I'm not there. I don't honestly know.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens.
And right about there, boxes in hand, Hyperion comes walking in with, a bunch of parts and whatnot.
Clearly, we've returned. I'll need some additional time and effort to create the device necessary. They didn't have every part that I would think that they have. I'll need to make some modifications. Would you be willing to assist?
May I?
Absolutely.
Okay. Dale, roll that beautiful bean footage again.
All right.
And up a
Am
column
I
shift.
cool? Okay. All right, sweet. What was that again? That was incredible. So now it's amazing.
I hope that phone call was as awkward as it could be.
All right, 30. Just barely green. Got it.
Okay. Yeah, as Shelly said in the chat, she's all, "Aw, Grandpa." So you are between the two of you. You are putting together a device which will work. It's not going to be the best in weather. So for short term, it'll probably be just fine. But if any rain starts happening, it's probably going to short out the tower and cause some problems.
With that, can we go to click on a news station? Are there any weather reports or anything for the area?
Oh yeah. It's going to be pretty clear weather for at least the next week, as far as it says.
Okay. Excellent. We managed to do it. Isn't perfect, but with the materials we have, this will work, especially for the time that we'll be here. Assuming that it won't be for an extended period of time. Now that we have the machine, we need to infiltrate a nearby radio tower and contact mainframe to see if he can tell me where one of the more viable radio towers would be if he has that information.
Yeah, sure. He lets you know, X radio tower, near downtown, sitting on top of a, pretty tall building.
Excellent. And we can approach, clandestinely enter. We can then attach the device and leave. I suggest that Lightbringer and myself are the ones who enter and attach. Meanwhile, if Angler would be able to scout out the area surrounding to inform us if anything else is happening or if we should encounter anybody who might be upon us. Although we should be cloaked during the entire time, but to make sure that all of our bases are covered.
He can fly around, but keep in mind he has rockets, so it's going to be kind of loud.
Right.
So I missed a couple things.
You walked back in at this point. They constructed the device, and they're looking to set it up on a radio tower.
Okay.
Any
Okay.
questions? Excellent.
From there, what is our plan?
First, of course, to make sure that the devices work. If we can pick up the one that's currently outside of our range, that will indicate that it's successful. At that point, if we have not received word yet from SHIELD, we will then work on actually patrolling the area that was indicated to us from the newspaper articles, going along the main freeways to see if we can actually determine where they are and possibly other locations to deposit the electronic listening devices. It's likely that they have at least one base of operations in that area, hence why they go to that area so often.
That assumes that they only have one base of operations.
True.
And they don't have any satellite locations.
If we can find at least one, that would be excellent. And that may then lead us to where the others are. It is a network after all. With that said, let's prepare. And so Hyperion gathers the machine, listening devices, and makes sure everybody's got the gear on, and then we head out.
And how are you heading out to install these devices? Are you just taking a car?
Is this place like kind of? You said it was like up on a hill or whatever. So like
No, the one that he gave you is actually on the top of a building.
Oh, building. Okay.
Yeah. So it's used primarily to boost and broadcast the signal all around downtown.
Okay.
How far is it from the hotel?
2.5 miles maybe. Not terribly far.
Lightbringer, how has your work come along in attempting to manipulate sound?
It's still rudimentary.
So when it comes to Angler's rocket-propelled flight, I believe you'd be able to mask at least a part of it.
How about we don't take a big risk like that?
I don't
I'll
think
keep-
I can mask sounds. It's more creating sounds.
I see. Then we can approach typically. We can continue with our current idea of entering clandestinely by being invisible. Or at the very least, we can approach first, and I can perform scouting with my photonic copies to see if there's some simpler way to enter the building.
Start with the scouting. If we go in, we can go in invisible. We don't need to make this more complicated than it really needs to be.
Yeah.
Precisely. Excellent.
Okay.
And we'll approach by car. We'll do kind of like what we did before. We'll be like a block away. That way, like Hyperion's copies will be well within range of like poofing there and scouting the building
Sure.
in the area to see what it's like.
Okay. And your copies cannot go invisible if I'm correct. They are.
They're still totally visible. I could try for a power stunt, I guess, to see if they can be invisible, which I might as well try.
So go ahead and spend 100 karma and hope you get a red result.
Can I try and make them I can only make them invisible as far as I can see them.
Correct.
If that would even work.
No,
How do you make a...
You can still do that.
Okay,
Can you make a
well,
hologram invisible? Yeah.
it's like, how deep can we go?
No, 15. That is definitely not going to do it.
Yeah, definitely not going to do it. Okay, so yeah, you strain a little bit, and it's still kind of the copy ends up mirroring his strain, like mental, like sort of thing, but doesn't do anything.
So with that said, yeah, I definitely don't have that waveform down yet to make that happen. So I just go ahead and do the whole, land shark, ceiling shark type of thing where necessary.
Doo-doo.
Yeah, being inside the building and like kind of seeing what the most direct route to a spot where we can attach the device would be.
Okay, so give me an agility check as you're going in. This is an attempt to kind of stay hidden.
Yeah. Yeesh, 18. That is definitely not doing it.
All right, so you get in somewhere on the ground floor and start going initially, and not terribly, and not terribly bad, and you're kind of sneaking around, occasionally dipping in and out of stairwells and whatnot, but you have to still coordinate yourself to figure out like where you're at and how the access is going to work and whatnot. And as you end up, floating around, the floor plan shifts unexpectedly as far as like the layout is concerned, which causes you to have to take a moment to break from the stairwell, go to a different stairwell, and figure out where you're going, and look around. And as you come up through the floor, where you actually come up through the floor at is like right into the men's restroom. So like you come up like right through the toilet, and you're like, oh, just shunting out of the way sort of thing, and scare the bejesus out of some guy who spots you, as he was getting ready to relieve himself, and just freaks out and like pulling his clothing up real quick so he can just run terrified out of the bathroom.
Right.
Was that the bejesus you left behind?
And now they're going to have
Put a
ghost
bug in that man's pocket.
they're going to have ghost stories about this office building now, as you guys are, this ghost came up out of the toilet. Scariest thing I ever saw.
Sweet.
Go ahead and roll
Are we
again.
leaving the mom jokes out of this because it's the second scariest thing he ever saw? Yeah, I am not an adult, even though I'm 40.
57. That is for incredible green.
Yeah, that's way better. All right. So now at this point, using some of the initial chaos that you ended up ensuing and the yelling and whatnot, you circumvent a couple of floors, look around, and with the exception of that one floor, if you can basically get access to the stairwell, invisibly, you can pretty much walk your way up to the top of this building. Given it's a little louder up here because of the air conditioning units and whatnot, you're going to have to break the lock to get access to the rooftop. But breaking the lock is not, it's not like it's going to reverberate or whatnot. There's quite a bit of ambient noise up here. So getting access is not going to be a problem, really, if you can stay invisible, not run into anybody, and walk the stairwell pretty much. The only problem you're going to have is that one floor where it switches and the stairway, changed.
Okay. All right. Cytoprarian's like, will be relatively easy. If we maintain our cover the entire time, it's a simple matter of getting to the stairwell. Partway up, we make a shift because of a floor plan change, and then make our way to the top where we can get more direct access and implant the device.
Sounds easy enough.
Again, Angler, making sure to, at least in plain clothes, patrol the area, but not to fly unless there's an emergency. Don't expect there to be anybody here. It seems to be a very low security building, but just to be on the safe side. Are we ready? Excellent.
So, just so I understand, then Angler is going to be walking around outside, just keeping an eye out. Okay,
That's the plan, yeah.
sure. Okay. So you two are walking in invisible.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm not going to make you roll for that. So you two kind of walking. Whoa! Didn't expect that. We had a follower,
Oh,
and the sound effect surprised me.
Oh, okay.
See, I forget on the other games it's a subtle, like it kind of fades in and there's the ravens that are crowing and you're making their bird sounds or whatnot. This is a loud bong sort of thing and lets me know real quick. So yes. Thank you for the follow. Emic 13. So anyways, you guys make it into the stairwell invisibly without too much of a problem. Why don't you both give me agility checks? This is just primarily to that actually scared Shelly too. No one was expecting that one. Oh, it scared Davey too.
can you
So you would
can
say
you
it's
turn
like
it
the
down?
Spanish, so you'd say it's like the Spanish Inquisition.
The Inquisition.
Right.
Okay, 63 on remarkable. So that is
Oh, do I have... I don't. Dang it.
still green.
Just barely not. I'm still white. I'm one block away from the green.
Oh wow. Okay.
Typical's, yeah, agility's only typical.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So as you guys are making your way up, and of course there's some people walking down. Carmen, this is cake for you. I mean, you did acrobatics. You know in your spare time as a kid, you were a gymnast. You're used to being agile, and nimble, and whatnot. Mark, not so much.
So if
he's still
he looks
invisible.
like if he looks like he's gonna stumble, I do have danger sense.
Oh no, it's not stumble.
Okay.
Mark, not so much. So as you guys are walking up the steps, and two people are look like they're stepping down. They're chatting amongst themselves in Spanish. Mark walks right into them, just biff, and they're like looking around. Like what the heck, sort of thing in Spanish, obviously.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah. Yeah, they're looking around trying to see what it was that they bumped into.
Trying to just kind of get by them without staying there, causing that much more of a ruckus.
Okay.
See if they can just be like, "What the heck? Oh, well.
Sure. Roll one more time.
Both
This
of us?
time,
Oh no,
Tim.
you're fine. You're clear.
Okay.
I am gonna go ahead and I'll spend 20 karma on this just to give it that little boost.
Okay.
Okay, didn't really need it. Gives me a total of 82. That's yellow.
Okay, yeah. So not a problem this time. So you take a second to kind of sidestep a little bit and sidestep a little bit more as you're backing up the steps away from them as they're kind of like looking around a second, trying to figure out just what happened, and then they just eventually start walking back down and think that maybe they clashed shoulders or something, and by mistake or whatnot. And you get back up where Carmen's at, no problem. Angler, give me an intuition check as you have your peepers peeled.
We are looking at a 55 on a remarkable, so just a green.
Okay. Just a green.
I say just a green, but this feels like it's not just a situation. It feels like a contested moment.
Yep. Okay, so as you are, or as Jackie Daytona would say, I'll keep my peepers peeled for that guy. So as you are looking around, keeping your head on the swivel, keeping on the lookout, you end up seeing some police across the street from where you're at. It looks like they're taking somebody away.
What does the other person look like?
And you take a moment to kind of stare a little bit, and you can see that they have some discolored skin. And I don't mean in a way of like, Virilago sort of thing. Like, it looks sort of inhuman.
He's going to tap that out in Morse code on his watch.
Okay, so you hear the cutting of sound again.
All right.
As Freddy is getting inventive with the communicators.
Yeah.
We've done this before, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have actually, yeah.
Yep. And you identify that is you're doing something simple. So what is it? SOS?
No, SBD Policia. Or police, sorry.
Okay. So so it's a long string.
He writes out, "To whom it may concern."
Yeah, I know.
This is going to take a while.
Per my previous email.
He sends Morse code like Henri sends text messages.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. We'll be here forever.
All right.
Don't forget to check Appendix B.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Subsection C. So you're able to translate that Hyperion, and he lets you know that the SPBs seem to have, or the police seem to have an SPB.
All right. And I relayed that under my breath to Carmen right next to me. How close are we to where we need to be to plant the device?
You are about 2/3 of the way up at this point. You can talk a little because you're in the stairwell going up.
Okay.
Just not too loud because it will echo.
Sure. Then, yeah, again, quietly, like on the communicator. Can you tell if it's something more insidious, or does this seem to be just a part of what the police are doing in the area? We already know it's illegal to demonstrate superpowers here.
Is there a place where I can dip into an alley?
Give me an intuition check.
Come on, Dice. You've been good for me tonight. 29! I knew it was going to happen whenever I needed it.
So you're not sure of the safety of it, but there's definitely an alley you can dip into.
Yeah, he'll slip into the alley.
I mean, at this point, it's all like every second counts if you're going to act. So, yeah, you dip into an alley.
This discolored skin. And he's currently being arrested, and he's in a car.
Do you have the ability to plant a device on the vehicle?
How far away are the cops?
Across the street. So from where you're at, I mean, if you booked it, with that kind of like forced shuffle sort of thing, you could probably plant it. It's going to be, you've got sleight of hand too, which will help. But it's going to be a bit of a strain to get it before they pull away.
If we interfere directly, we're technically breaking the law of the land.
If we can get to a window, I can
So-
poke him.
So this is what he does. Hey, officers! He pulls out his map.
Okay.
But before you take him away, can you show me where the big hug you Jesus statue is? I forget what it's called.
Okay. Roll for popularity.
Popularity. Oh, I get a 73 on that.
Yeah, so at this point, like one of them makes sure that they get the other person put away, and the guy looks at you and just pulls the map down, and he's like, "Wrong country, gringo. Get out of here, andale."
He'll throw up his hands. Sorry. Which country am I in? He waits till the cop turns his back,
Okay.
probably in frustration. I am going to drop another 20 points on this because I do not trust my rolls.
Okay. So it's an agility check. You are up a column shift with your sleight of hand.
$66. So
Okay.
that is remarkable to incredible. 66. Yeah, it's still green.
Oh yeah, you're good. I take it that was you putting the bug on him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he like makes a big scene about moving the map around, trying to figure out where the hell he is.
Okay. Yeah.
And then he kind of wanders off the other direction.
Sure. Okay. So at this point, the police car just speeds away.
And then he'll start going the other way and patrol around the building the other way.
Okay. All right. So the two of you get up top. Who is going to be connecting the device?
I will connect it.
Okay.
I'm just here for support.
You going to cheer him on?
No, I'm gonna make
Give
him
me an
invisible.
H. Give me a Y. Y.
Yeah.
Hypey, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can.
You know, maybe no. Okay, let's see. Am I using hyper invention for this or
No, you're going to be using your reason.
reasoning? Okay, all right.
Oh, I mean, if he's doing that, then maybe I can help him.
Yeah, actually, I mean, you're right here. Unless it's going to take away from your cloaking.
Probably not.
I also have.
I say no.
I also have the repair/tinkering talent. Will that give me a column shift
Yes.
for this? Sweet.
So what is your reason at right now with the column shift?
So with that one column shift, that makes it go from amazing to monstrous.
Oof. So what do you have, Carmen?
In reason,
Yeah.
I also have amazing.
Oh, Lordy, you're rolling at a UN 100 to attach this device.
Okay.
Carmen, I give you permission to slap him if he actually fails this. Because he needs a 15 and under to fail it.
Don't say that.
1.
17.
Wow.
No joke.
Oh, never tell me the odds.
Yeah, never tell me.
So
Check everything.
So he's like pausing, really having trouble initially getting this done, and he, he probably looks to you at some point. He's like, "Remember that game called Emergency? I was never any good at it. Or Operation."
Hyperion's shaking when he attaches the thing.
That was just oh shoot, shoot! I can never get that femur bone out. So he comes pretty close to shocking himself a couple times on some live wires. But he's able to put it together, shut the device, and you guys get down. And that's probably a good thing because that's a lot of current going through that.
Excellent. So we managed to then come down and make it out of the building?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Alive and in one piece.
Alive and in one piece. Yep, the chat is laughing at you guys. Shelley's saying he has Britney's dice.
Yeah, I do tonight. Man.
I'm using my new silicone ones.
Ah.
Cool.
And by new, I mean I've had them for like 3 months.
New enough.
New enough.
That was the gaming convention dice, right?
Yeah, they still haven't made it into my regular dice box. They're still in the bag,
Gotcha.
which is right next to my computer.
Cool. Okay. So you
Gotta
have
quarantine 'em.
set that up. You have bugged the police officer at this point, and they've pulled away. You guys have reconvened downstairs.
All right. So we go to find Angler.
Yeah, you guys have met back up with him at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the hotel.
Yes. And were you able to successfully plant the bug?
Yeah, they think they were just dealing with another ignorant American.
Sometimes it's helpful to play into the stereotype.
Yeah, I told him I was looking for the big huggy Jesus.
Ah, yes. I understand the response they probably had. Well, excellent. The mission's a success. Let's see if we can actually track the different devices. And once we'll do that once we actually return to the hotel. That'll allow us to actually convene with everyone.
Okay.
So then, find a cab, head back to our
Right
location.
back, yep. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pause there for tonight. We're at 2, so we got almost 2.5 hours in of game time ish. So cool.
Ballpark.
So the next game for us is actually going to be November 12th.
Okay.
That sound doable?
I can't believe it's almost November.
So,
I
I know, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So our next game is going to be November 12th. Stay tuned because we have a game. Our new Ashland by Night Blood Ties is going to be on November the 5th. So that's next Saturday. So be looking forward to seeing you guys there and having some more fun. We'll find out just what exactly has happened with some of our friendly types here, and just how much more punishment Trish can take. And weirdness from the city. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching. We had a lot of fun. Thank you for the likes and subscribes. And hope you guys have a nice night. Good night.
Bye.